An election is not due until 2023, but the Prime Minister has been facing pressure from some in his party, UMNO, to call an early vote to capitalise on the party's resurgent popularity in recent local polls. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri said he will wait for the right time to call for an election given inflationary pressures partly stemming from the Ukraine conflict. Bank Negara Malaysia expects headline inflation to average between 2.2% and 3.2% this year, with food costs up 4.1% in April. Earlier this month, the central bank unexpectedly raised its key interest rate to cool inflationary pressures. The government has introduced price control measures, but the cost of subsidies has weighed on its coffers. The Prime Minister also said that he was keen on reintroducing a goods and services tax GST. Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri added that the government was aware of the GST's unpopularity, but had limited options, noting it had lost 20 billion ringgit in annual revenue after the tax was abolished. The government would target a GST rate that did not burden the people, but was not so low that it defeats the purpose of expanding tax revenue. Malaysia is expected to spend 28 billion ringgit on fuel subsidies alone in 2022, more than double the 11 billion ringgit spent last year, in addition to subsidies for cooking oil, sugar and flour. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri on Tuesday held talks with representatives of US memory chip maker Micron Technology Inc. to explore the potential for the company to increase its investment in Malaysia. The delegation from Micron, led by the company's Executive Vice President of Global Operations, Manish Bhatia, met the Prime Minister in Putrajaya following the latter's recent working visit to the United States. In a statement on his Facebook page, Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri expressed confidence that more foreign companies will continue to invest in Malaysia. He added that almost 4,000 locals were currently employed by Micron in Malaysia. With the nation transitioning to the endemic phase, System Television Malaysia Berhad, or TV3, is all set to push the envelope to have more live shows with audiences. The nation's first commercial television station, on its 38th anniversary today, that's June the 1st, pledged to stay close to its viewers and also produce contents which are able to contribute to nation building. The 38-year-old station would tap the potentials of the current conducive environment as the nation transitions to endemic phase. Chief Executive Officer of Media Prima Television Networks and Primeworks Studios, Datuk Khairul Anwar Saleh, speaks to Nightline.
I think the public has developed this sense of almost secure, safe environment to interact. With all the open houses, and then you see concert tickets are being snapped up in 24 hours. So these are good signs for us, and also more activities or creative activities or cultural activities can happen. With that, we will be able to start looking at, say for example, content for live spaces like either concerts or also cinema. We have put ourselves on hold in terms of movie making. I think our last film, a very successful film with Agent Ali, unfortunately right after that was the pandemic. So we had about close to 3 years of a pause. But hopefully with this, we can get our resources together to actually start producing films for that space.
The station's flagship program, Bulletin Utama, has attracted up to 4 million viewers, thanks to the news program's improved features and content.
by having an in-depth story coverage, will also showcase the talents we have, the writers we have, the thinkers that we have in the company. Because as I mentioned, news spaces are too short. We're not able to articulate the story in depth. So that will enhance the brand itself for TV3 and Media Prima, that we have strong talents that is able to contribute to nation building in terms of writing good stories for the public.
In conjunction with its 3 decades of success, Malaysia's pioneer private TV station takes pride in saying that the station has and still is setting standards for many other media organizations in the country.
In conjunction with our anniversary, we definitely will push the envelope to make sure that we grow stronger in spaces that we have opportunities of improvement, like entertainment, because there's a lot of opportunities in that space. And we will continue collaborating with our other streaming partners to ensure that our content, our dramas can reach all our audience wherever they are and in whichever platforms that they prefer.
The station's recipe to success also lies on the continuous hard work, dedication, creativity, and innovative ideas of its staff.
We need to create the right environment for our staff, where they feel free to express ideas, and we give them the authority to and a freedom to actually share their stories and their ideas, and we execute it well, using the right tools and the right technical requirements of today. I think the environment is critical for us to maintain, number one, and to keep our staff actively contributing to new ideas.
It was the first day of Ramadan, that's June 1st in 1984. And the time? It was 6 p.m. System Television Malaysia Berhad, popularly known as TV3, began broadcasting on this day. The nation's first commercial television station was launched by then Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. TV3 used to broadcast from a building in Jalan Liku Bangsa, Kuala Lumpur, before it moved to Sri Pentas, Bandar Utama, Selangor in 1995. On July 28, 1984, TV3 became the first commercial channel in collaboration with RTM, bringing Malaysians the live coverage of the Los Angeles Olympics. The same was also done in 1988 and 1992. The first 24-hour broadcast of TV3 was on August 31, 1997, as the first 24-hour television station in Malaysia. Since its launch, TV3 has been the leading television station in Malaysia. It has more than once reached 51% of audience share, the highest share ever achieved by a Malaysian television station. In terms of advertising revenue, the company retains its leadership position and continues to produce strong revenue growth from advertisements. TV3 continues to upgrade its equipment for production and transmission, and its employees receive continuous exposure and training in television production. This has enabled TV3 to remain as the premier private commercial broadcaster. TV3's flagship program, Bulletin Utama, constantly maintains the highest daily viewership reach, with TV3's YouTube channel being one of the most subscribed to YouTube channels in Malaysia. With Malaysia on the track to economic recovery, there has been a correspondingly steady demand for local programs, including news, current affairs, magazines, talk shows, sports, documentaries, dramas, or films. The pioneer commercial television station is also behind Malaysia's largest media and entertainment conglomerate, Media Prima Berhad's positioning as #1 in the nation. And for employees who have served the station for decades, the feeling is incredible when they consistently push the bar. Employees like them are an asset to the station, which make the organisation what it is today.
Kenangan manis yang boleh saya kongsikan semasa saya berada di Ghana, Afrika pada tahun 1997, selama 3 tahun semasa saya di sana, dan saya bekerja sambil melatih staf di Ghana, dan tentunya pengalaman, ilmu dan tunjuk ajar dari pihak perusahaan TV3 sangat berharga buat diri saya. Jutaan terima kasih kepada pihak perusahaan TV3 kerana memberi kepercayaan kepada saya untuk mengendalikan program berbahasa Mandarin sehingga hari ini. Saya ingin mengucapkan selamat ulang tahun TV3 yang ke-38 dan semoga TV3 terus sukses.
Yang kita bezakan TV3 kan ni pada masa yang sekarang ni pun juga kami masih mendahului. Kita memiliki kaki-tangan yang memang komited untuk menjadikan stesen TV3 ni nombor 1. Dia akan berusaha cara macam mana pun untuk mendapatkan info dan kemudian dibawa balik ke Sri Pentas. Sri Pentas sediakan semuanya untuk TX on air. Dan kita dengan TX on air tu cakap apa, kita get ready lah. Bila-bila masa pun kita tak ada duduk pada satu line up tu tak boleh diubah. Tak. Kita boleh ubah line up tu bila-bila masa saja. Bila story yang dah ada tu betul-betul ready, producer kata okay go, kita boleh go on air bila masa. Semua staff keep that challenge untuk ubah benda tu secepat mungkin untuk pastikan penonton dapat yang nombor 1 punya berita yang terbaru.
So saya rasa happy bekerja dekat stesen TV3 ni disebabkan environmentnya seperti satu keluarga. Dia di antara rakan-rakan dapat bantu sesama sendiri, dan staf yang baru pun boleh give and take dengan pekerja yang lama. Dan rasa seronok bekerja sini lagi satu, bila sesuatu visual yang kita siarkan di publik di dalam berita mendapat perhatian dan mendapat impak yang bagus untuk penonton. Saya mengucapkan selamat ulang tahun TV3 yang ke-38. Semoga ia terus maju dan terus maju.
Saya diberikan banyak peluang oleh TV3 untuk menyiarkan pelbagai isu dan berita semasa yang berlaku di negara kita maupun di dunia antarabangsa. Saya amat jasa baik kepada media Prima Berhad yang di atas sokongan dan dorongan yang diberikan sepanjang perkhidmatan saya. Akhir kata saya, selamat menyambut ulang tahun TV3. Happy anniversary TV3.
TV3's flagship program, produced by the News and Current Affairs Department, is the most watched news bulletin at prime time. At 8 p.m, the station's viewers are not only served with the latest happenings around the country, but all over the globe. So what is interesting about Bulletin Utama? In conjunction with the station's anniversary this year, newscasters who made it big during their time wanted to join the celebration by sharing their reading expertise over the primetime news for a week, which began on May 26.
You know what? I've had the privilege of working alongside big names like N. Raj, okay, Suhaimi Sulaiman, Sharifah Shahwati, to name a few. We've got like Suhaimi Sulaiman and also Nurmala Samshuddin, okay. And during that moment, Bulletin Utama achieved what no other TV station has managed to achieve. We attracted an average of 3 to 4 million viewers. We even hit 4 million viewers at one point of time. That was no easy feat. Come to think of it, we made millions of people sit in front of TV, watching us reading news for 1 hour. What is more interesting than that? So I think that is, like you said, unforgettable moment. I enjoyed every moment of it.
TV3 adalah universiti kepada saya dalam dunia pengacaraan, pengulas dan sebagainya yang tak ada pada tempat lain. Jadi saya merantau banyak dalam stesen TV tapi tak sama dengan TV3. Sebab itulah bila sempena dengan ulang tahun ke-38 TV3, bila dipanggil untuk saya bersama dengan Azura, panggil hari ini semalam sebenarnya saya dah setuju untuk datang. Seronok betapa adanya orang kata apa, tarikan TV3 tu, dan saya yakin TV3 akan meneruskan kecemerlangan dulu, kini dan selamanya.
Saya diberi peluang untuk membuat liputan pelarian Afghanistan di Pakistan selepas perang Afghanistan. Saya tak ingat tahun berapa. So di situ saya rasa sebab ada satu insiden di mana penduduk Afghanistan, kanak-kanak mereka sebagai pelarian di Pakistan di sempadan itu tidak mengenal apa itu sabun. So pada era moden ini saya tak fikir ini akan berlaku sebab ada juga manusia di dunia ini yang tak tahu nak guna sabun. Saya rasa sedih sebab sebab mereka hidup terlalu miskin. So bila kita bandingkan hidup kita di Malaysia ni, kita hidup ni kita take for granted. Tapi inilah pengalaman yang betul-betul menyentuh rasa saya, memberi kesedaran pada saya. Dan ini sebenarnya adalah peluang yang telah diberikan oleh TV3 untuk saya merantau ke seluruh dunia untuk membuat liputan berita. Dan terima kasih TV3 dan selamat menyambut anniversary ke-38.
Ketika itu saya pertama kali membaca Bulletin Utama pukul 8 malam, dan masa tu prime time. Bila you ingat prime time berjuta orang tengok kan, automatically you become nervous. So I was lucky at that time. My mentor Datuk Allahyarham Datuk Dale Mahathir Lokuman was with me, sama-sama membaca berita Buletin pukul 8 malam ketika itu. Jadi dia banyak mententeramkan saya. Pada ketika itu macam rasa mic ni boleh pick up my debaran jantung. That how bad it was, you know. So tapi Abang Dale masa tu setiap kali in between stories dia akan buat lawak, buat jokes, knowing him. So bila I pusing when the camera is on me, so automatically I nampak ceria lah sebab baru lepas ketawa kan dengan Adele tu.
Well, one of the things that I that happens usually is sometimes the light just the bulb just bursts and you're suddenly dark. So you're reading in the dark. So you have to actually explain to the crowd what's happening. You have to say, "Oh goodness me, okay, we're having a bit of a technical problem, but I'm just going to get back to you once this problem is rectified." You have to do that. And then sometimes when you go on air, the person on the other side, there's some technical glitch and they cannot communicate with you. So you have to be able to banter. You have to be able to control that situation. And so there was one time when I was reading the news, my earrings just came off, plop, and you can hear it plop came out, So I'm like, yes. So I was like, okay, hang on a second. I said, my earring just came off. I'm just going to take it and put it back, and I just go on. So you have to be very natural at it because the viewers, they're human and they like to see that that relaxed side of you. So yes. So you have to be in control when you're on air. So yeah.
Sometimes you read stories which is quite funny and then with different names and things like that, and you tend to, because laughing is quite contagious. So I try to stop. Sometimes your co-reader will help you or assist you into we have to work together in order to ensure that the news or the live transmission goes on smoothly with minimal casualties. Minimal, but that's what life is all about.
I'm not a newsreader. I was a sports print media journalist, but the chance came, or the chance was given to me. I struggled. Obviously, I struggled a lot in the early years. It's just not. It wasn't that I was dreaming to become a newsreader or something, or somebody who appears on TV, but But I took the challenge. Till today, I'm very much thankful to the TV3 editors at that time, and I was first taught or given the chance by the late and the great Allahyarham Mahathir Lokman. So if he has the confidence in me, I took that chance, even though I struggle. Like I said earlier, I struggle a lot. TV3 will always be in my heart.
And for well-wishers, they hope the country's first commercial television station continues its journey of success with pride.
I wish TV3 can consistently deliver the best of information, and for all races, for all level of people, good deliver in what we call it a knowledge and fast in every single issues.
Okay, for TV3, just keep doing whatever you are doing now. You are having a great news all over the States and Malaysia, and I love TV3 so much. Thank you.
Tapi saya suka berita TV3. Memang saya suka. Itu je lah.
Keep going with latest news and news, sports and everything. It's very good for us to know.
So you all can start with the upcoming dramas, upcoming movies, and then can put a lot of Tamil movies also. Normally TV3 no Tamil movies, so can put Tamil movies, all language movies lah.
Hi TV3, happy 38th anniversary.
Program-program keagamaan, program-program rakyat supaya jaga keluarga Malaysia, program-program begitulah yang bagus untuk rakyat Malaysia kan, supaya ada masyarakat yang yang sayang kepada negara lah. Program-program keagamaan Islam lah contohnya kan, supaya manusia ni dia kembali kepada agama, dia sayang kepada agama dan sayang kepada negara. Itulah program tu yang sesuai.
Hopefully TV3 can provide the live lah, more live sport lah, especially our badminton lah. That's all.
Saya harap nanti masa depan TV3 boleh bagi lebih banyak konten yang menarik, drama yang menarik, yang satu family, kawan-kawan boleh tengok sama-sama.
Semoga TV3 sentiasa maju jaya dan boleh untuk berkembang akan masa akan datang lah, insyaAllah.
Keep inspiring people with good shows and entertaining us. I hope to see TV3 one day on bigger platforms and also on online services. Thank you very much for entertaining me since childhood. TV3 used to be my favorite place for my cartoon. Wakes me up in the morning whenever I'm on the weekends from school. So I love TV3. Good luck to you all.
EU to ban 90% of Russian oil by year-end. News from the foreign front when Nightline returns. Have agreed in principle to cut 90% of oil imports from Russia by the end of this year, cutting off a vital source of funding for Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. This after the leaders reached a compromise deal with Hungary. The head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said the move will effectively cut around 90% of oil imports from Russia to the EU by the end of the year, when Germany and Poland have promised to end deliveries via pipeline. The 27-nation organization has spent weeks haggling over a complete ban on Russian oil, but encountered stubborn resistance from Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban. who said an embargo would destroy his country's economy. At a meeting in Brussels on Monday, leaders hatched a compromise deal to exempt deliveries arriving in Europe by the Druzhba pipeline. Shanghai will move into a normalized epidemic control phase from Wednesday. This will allow malls and shops to reopen and people in low-risk areas to return to work. Officials said railways will also resume normal operations and a number of domestic flights to the city will increase, adding that they will also look to adjust passenger load factors. Public venues, however, will still need to cap people flows at 75% of capacity, and people will need to show a negative PCR test taken within the last 72 hours to enter. The announcement comes after the city on Monday declared an end to its 2-month lockdown on Monday. Malaysia routs Japan to advance to 2022 Asia Cup finals. Sports coming up next. The 2022 Asia Cup. Malaysia booked their berth in the final after claiming a comfortable 5-0 win over Japan in their last Super 4 clash on Tuesday. Shello Silverius opened the scoring for the national side in the 15th minute before Nick Muhammad Aiman Nick Rosami doubled the lead 15 minutes later. 3 more goals in the space of 7 minutes rounded off Malaysia's spectacular performance. Razi Rahim struck the Speedy Tigers third in the 35th minute, with Shafiq Hassan and Ashran Hamsani adding the 4th and 5th, sealing a spot in the final. Malaysia will either face India or South Korea in Wednesday's final. Turning to tennis now, the French Open, Marin Cilic produced a stunning performance to defeat world number 2 Daniil Medvedev in straight sets in the 4th round. 33-year-old Cilic came out fast out of the blocks and produced some of the best tennis of his career to upset the reigning US Open champion 6-2, 6-3, 6-2. Cilic will play his first quarter-final in a major since 2018 when he meets 7th seed Andrei Rublev on Wednesday, who earlier advanced to the last 8 after Yannick Sinner retired due to injury.
Ayo semarakkan sokongan anda untuk Harimau Malaya. Siri persahabatan antarabangsa secara langsung hanya di TV9 dan Astro 149.
After the break, 1.35 tons of Ketum leaves seized with arrest of 2. Stay tuned. The Transport Ministry is open to investigation into claims of bribery in the public transportation infrastructure construction involving the Mass Rapid Transit MRT project. Its Minister Datuk Sri Wee Ka Siong said his ministry would give their cooperation and has always practiced transparency and also not supporting any element of misappropriation in whatever project related to the ministry. Datuk Sri Wee said that anyone involved will face action if complaints have been lodged and let the authorities investigate. MRT also stated its willingness to be investigated over the allegation. Datuk Sri Wee also called on the public not to speculate on the matter until the investigation has been completed by the relevant authority. Previously, it was reported that the French authority was investigating allegations of cheating and corruption that happened a few years ago in the MRT project worth 692 million ringgit. In Kedah, police detained 2 men and seized 1.35 tons of Ketum leaves in Op Bersepadu Luaran at a southbound Gurun Rest and Recreation R&R area along the North-South Expressway on Monday. State Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Department Chief Superintendent Muhammad Mahiri Hussein said the men, both aged 36, were detained at about 11:30 p.m. He said a patrol team spotted a lorry being driven in a suspicious manner at the Gurun R&R and flagged it down for inspection. Checks discovered 135 black plastic packages believed to be Ketum leaves weighing 1.35 tons. He also said the 2 suspects were believed to have obtained the Ketum leaves from Pokok Sena to be sent to Kluang and Johor Bahru, Johor. The case is being investigated under the Poisons Act. As we wrap up Nightline this time around, let's take a look as TV3 celebrates its 38th anniversary with a look back over the years, messages from its iconic former anchors, and expressions of gratitude to our loyal viewers. Let's take a look. With that, I'm Raymond Goh, and on behalf of all of us on the Nightline team, we'd like to also thank you for always staying with us. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and take care.